2, John Hiscock and Shane Lapham. Grid 3, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. Grid 4, Shane Baker, Clinton Martin. Grid 5, Steve Dewison and Keith Wall. And Grid 6, Martin Baker and Shane Can. That's the lineup, of course, so we look to see what will happen in race 20. And as they get underway, it is indeed making the break. Martin Baker goes into the first corner. Ken Lane has gone after them on the inside, powering it into that top end. I can see that Robbie Wilson has gone back to his GRASSTRACK outfit. He's now gone back to his GRASSTRACK outfit and holds second place. So you see Shane Baker getting close to Ken Lane. They're going into that pit bend. Ken Lane still there in second place. There's Robbie Wilson's gone wide. It looked like Rob Wilson was in second, but Ken Lane has moved through. Rob Wilson, as they went past me, they looked to just to have it, although he's gone on a very, very wide line. Oh, the outfit's bucking. On the ground there is both Rob Wilson and Ken Lane close right up on the back wheel of Martin Baker. Rob Wilson again goes very, very wide. Ken Lane has opted for the inside line. Come past me again, that is indeed Rob Wilson goes around the outside of Martin Baker, but that's a very, very wide line that Rob Wilson is riding. He's leaving the gap for Ken Lane to come through. Down the back straight we go once more, and Martin Baker is still there, but Robbie Wilson trying for it on the outside again. Vince Jones right down on the bottom of that running board, looks to get every ounce of grip they can as they look to go past Martin Baker. It's close on the line, but there's one more lap to go. Steve Dewison that goes right up on them as well. It's getting very, very tight at the front of this one. Are we going to see yet another close finish? Getting a close finish because Dewison has moved through in front of Ken Lane. Steve Dewison has got through in front of Ken Lane, comes back again as it's getting crazy in that pit bend. Martin Baker is looking to hold him as they come across the line. Martin Baker just gets it from Ken Lane and Steve Dewison, and Robbie Wilson back in fourth place. What a fantastic sidecar race that turned out to be. Well, I certainly wouldn't have liked to predict who was going to win it on the end of that third lap. But what a tremendous finish. It seems whatever race Steve Dewison and Keith Wall are in, it's going to be a close finish. It's with these sidecars that can actually make sure of a place in the semi-finals. Dave Steer, I feel, knows that, gets himself up in the second place. And come together in the final. So, Dave Steer trying to change that though, looks for a way round the outside. Line comes up on the outside of Rob Wilson. Now this will be interesting because Dave Steer is so used to riding tight to the pace and he finds an excellent line. Turn stays tight once again. Drives up hard into the last lap. Paul Bickley and Paul Silver sitting there in third place still, but really all eyes on that front change positions going around there. Kind of done just that. They had Rob Wilson against 10 with them. Rob comes back at him as they come to the line. So Rob Wilson and Tony Miles finish in second. Great ride from Dave Steer and Rob Sharrocks. It means that we now only have Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall on maximum points. Made the best of the starts on the outside. We've got John Halsey, but it is Tim Bennett that at long last has found his form as he goes into that top turn. He's got Gary Jackson with him as well. That has not scored well earlier on this afternoon and now making it hard for John Halsey. He's in third place at the moment, but only just because he's got John Hiscock and Jason Gill right on the inside of him.
the four crews come off that bottom turn together. Tim Bennett and Steve Hargraves in the sort of form that we expected them to be earlier on this afternoon. Oh, maximum points here might be enough, but he's gone very, very wide on that top turn. Gary Jackson could see the mistake, looks to capitalise on it, but Tim rescues the situation. John Halsey and Jason Glennie watching what's going on in front of them. Know they perhaps got a comfortable points margin, but they would like to go into that final with maximum points. No, making sure there are no errors at all, just sitting watching what's going on in front of them. All four real close together to get them off the top turn. Will John Halsey make a move? Well, Gary Jackson still hasn't found a way past Tim Bennett at the moment, so Tim's still holding maximum points. Gary Jackson's close once again, knows that John Halsey's about there somewhere as well. One more lap to go. Tim Bennett again has gone wide and Gary Jackson comes through on the inside. Tim Bennett comes back at him again, those two outfits together, and I'm sure John Halsey's thinking they might push an error out of each other. But there's no gaps at the moment. Tim Bennett has gone wide again and Gary Jackson comes through. John Halsey's followed him through as well. Well, that was very intelligent riding from John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Well, I knew that they didn't want any silly mistakes whatsoever, but they watched to see if there were any errors forced, and Gary Jackson indeed forced Tim Bennett into an error, found his way through. That start line, Duncan Tolhurst has made a terrific start once again. He really has been getting out of the starting grid and into the first corner. He really has put up some great shows so far this afternoon. Ivor Matthews has got to work hard to get round him. You can see as Ivor Matthews is forced wide, he's leaving a gap on the inside for Craig Cheatham to come through. So it's all happening as they come round off that top turn. Duncan Tolhurst still leads at the moment, but Ivor Matthews trying to fight his way through as he gets in tight this time in the bottom bend. No way through there. Duncan Tolhurst holding some terrific lines, not leaving any gaps at all. Ivor Matthews ready to pounce if there's any gaps appears. He's forced to go wide once again. Looks to the outside line on that bottom turn. Duncan Tolhurst conscious that he's there, moves out a bit, and Ivor comes through on the inside. No, not quite this time. He's looking for a gap once again. Letting Duncan know that he's there, and as Duncan is moved out, has he left enough room for Ivor Matthews to come through? One more lap to complete. Has Ivor got his nose in front as he goes in that bottom turn? It looks as if he has. This time you can see those very distinctive leathers of Ivor Matthews and Ian Weatherly. They worked hard for this one indeed. It's paid off in the end as they come round off that top turn. They are going to take the race victory. And indeed, that's 3 rides and 3 wins for Ivor Matthews and Ian Weatherly. Checking on the points was who's got what at the moment, and I can tell you that Tim Bennett is straight to the front, has already had a win and a second place. He's on 12 points. We have 3 crews on 12 points. Look at the squad between Gary Jackson and John Halsey. He goes into second and he looks to be going after Tim Bennett. John Halsey won't be wanting to lose pace with them at all. He'll stay right there with them as they go down the back straight. All 3 outfits drive into that bottom turn. Tim Bennett and Steve Hargraves at the moment unaware of the battle that's going on. Once again, he knows that while Gary's trying to concentrate on getting past Tim Bennett, he'll possibly leave gaps for him to come through. And John Halsey drives around the outside of Gary Jackson and flies in the second, or does he? Well, he slows up and pulls it back in tight, hoping that Gary Jackson to go. Gary Jackson has stayed tight, and again John Halsey pushes wide and drives hard down that back straight. Gary Jackson pulls it in slightly, it means that John Halsey goes up in the second. Again, Tim Bennett will not be aware of what's going on behind him. He's just going to Sidecar racing, but not too far. 10 minutes left, and wondering what was going on behind him. As he came across the line, John Halsey pushing for the win, but he most importantly got a good second place.
Oh, race number 9 gets underway for the third time, and it's the right-hand sidecar. Into the lead goes 2-1-2, Chris Atkinson and Kev Bovis. Off pursuit there is Mick Brandle and Chris Atkinson holds on to that lead. Mick Cameron pushing hard in second place, and then Rob Wilson with Rob Wilson Jr. in third. Then Tim Bennett and Jason Glennie in fourth, and Eric and Rick Colvin in fifth, bringing up the rear. Oh, we got Gary. Superb sidecar engine here this afternoon, and Chris Atkinson really going for goal with Mick Cameron right up his exhaust pipe, and then the two Rob Wilsons, senior driving and junior hanging off the side. They're really pushing in there in third place. But Mick Cameron coming up there, trying to push his way up on the inside. Chris Atkinson slides off that inside line, and Mick Cameron's right there waiting, but he still can't get there as they start their last lap with the two Rob Wilsons in third place. Probably the first time I've ever seen them two at the same time. Chris Atkinson gets relegated to third. But the two Rob Wilsons going very, very wide, and Mick Cameron screaming up the inside. The battle's onto the line. Who's it going to be? It's Mick Cameron and Kevin Simmons from Rob Wilson and Rob Wilson from Chris Atkinson and Kev Bovis, and they really pushed hard all the way there just to get overhauled on the last turn. And then number 12, Tim Bennett and Jason Bennett, and then Eric and Rick Colvin.